Hello everyone and welcome to Walking Through the Bible. Nehemiah has now returned to Jerusalem with orders from Artaxerxes to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. He has surveyed the land around Jerusalem where the wall would be built. He did so by night so not as to arouse the suspicion of Judah's adversaries in the region. With all the preparations having now been made, now is the time to begin the work. So if you have a Bible with you, turn to Nehemiah chapter 3. We're going to be reading from verses 1 through 16. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So Nehemiah chapter 3, beginning verse 1. Then Eliashib the high priest rose up with his brethren the priests and built the sheep gate. They consecrated it and hung its doors. They built as far as the Tower of the 100 and consecrated it, then as far as the Tower of Hananel. Next to Eliashib, the men of Jericho built, and next to them Zachar the son of Imri built. Also the sons of Hassanah built the fish gate. They laid its beams and hung its doors with its bolts and bars. And next to them Meremoth the son of Arijah, the son of Koz, made repairs. Next to them Meshullam the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshezabel, made repairs. Next to them, Zadok, the son of Baana, made repairs. Next to them, the Tekoites made repairs. But their nobles did not put their shoulders to the work of the Lord. Moreover, Jehoiada, the son of Paseah, and Meshullam, the son of Bezodiah, repaired the old gate. They laid its beams and hung its doors with its bolts and bars. And next to them, Melatiah, the Gibeonite, Jadon, the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon and Mizpah repaired the residence of the governor of the region beyond the river. Next to him, Uzziel, the son of Harahiah, one of the goldsmiths, made repairs. And next to him, Hananiah, one of the perfumers, made repairs, and they fortified Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. And next to them, Rephaiah, the son of Hur, leader of half the districts of Jerusalem, made repairs. Next to them, Jediah, the son of Harumath, made repairs in front of his house. And next to them, Hattush, the son of Hashabaniah, made repairs. Malchijah, the son of Haram, and Hashab, the son of Pahath-Moab, repaired another section, as well as the Tower of the Ovens. Next to him was Shallum, the son of Haloesh, leader of half the district of Jerusalem. He and his daughters made repairs. Hanun and the inhabitants of Zanoah repaired the valley gate. They built it, hung its doors and its bolts and bars, and repaired 1,000 cubits of the wall as far as the refuse gate. Malchijah, the son of Rechab, leader of the district of Beth Hakerem, repaired the refuse gate. He built it and hung its doors with its bolts and bars. Shallun, the son of Kol-Hozah, leader of the district of Mizpah, repaired the fountain gate. He built it, covered it, hung its doors with its bolts and bars, and repaired the wall of the pool of Shelah by the king's garden, as far as the stairs that go down from the city of David. After him, Nehemiah, the son of Azbuk, leader of the half-district of Bethsur, made repairs as far as the place in front of the tombs of David, to the man-made pool, and as far as the house of the mighty. In this section, we get a list of a bunch of names and a list of a bunch of gates that to us might seem unimportant. And while we're not really going to be focusing on the names of the people too much, we are going to use pictures on the screen to help you visualize the building of the wall that is going on. Hopefully this will help you make sense of the different gates and the sections of the wall that are mentioned. What I would like you to notice about the names, though, is the people from all around Judah were involved in rebuilding the wall. Even the priests and the nobles were involved, though some of the nobles really didn't work too hard. Each section of the wall was given to a different group of people, meaning that the work could go quicker and smoother than if only a small group of people were tasked with building the whole wall. According to Nehemiah 3, the building report begins and ends at the sheep gate. Because this is located in John 5, verse 2, near the pool of Bethesda, it is the scholarly consensus that this is on the northern line of the city wall. The two following structures, the Tower of the 100 and the Tower of Hananel, were both on the north towards the west. The fortification of this area would have been crucial since the lack of a valley on this side of the city made it the most vulnerable to attack. Next we have the fish gate and the wall that was repaired near it. The Fish Gate was located on the northwest side of Jerusalem, probably a short ways from the square of the Temple Mount. The name of this gate is usually considered to derive from the fact that it faced the road that went down to Joppa, modern-day Tel Aviv, the nearest source of commercially supplied fish. There was probably a fish market near this gate. Verses 4 and 5 lists the 4 groups of workers tasked with the repairs to the wall between the Fish Gate and the next mentioned gate, the Old Gate. The Old Gate is transliterated by some English versions as Jeshanah Gate and was located south of the Fish Gate. The name may have come from its former association with the broad wall that extended from there to the west, towards the west, which had been built by Hezekiah. If this is true, the gate may have originally faced northward, meaning that the gate would now have to be reconstructed to face towards the east, which may explain the necessity of having 2 crews working on the project. The residence of the governor was also repaired near this section of the wall, which is where the governor would administer justice or perform any other duties required of him. Heading west from the Old Gate, we have the repairs and fortification of the broad wall mentioned. The broad wall was the northern wall of the new city wall that we saw constructed by Hezekiah back in 2 Chronicles 32, meant to encircle the western hill in the late 8th century BC. This section of the wall was the most vulnerable since it was not protected by a deep valley, which explains why the wall was so thick. Even though the broad wall generally refers to the northern part of this wall, the entire section of this wall would have needed to be repaired, which it eventually was. For otherwise, people living in this part of Jerusalem wouldn't be fully protected. Returning now to the wall that encircled the older city of Jerusalem, that in Solomon's day, we actually come to a gate not mentioned here in chapter 3, but will be in Nehemiah 12, the gate of Ephraim. The Ephraim gate is between the Tower of the Ovens and the Old Gate. Given the topography here, the Ephraim gate was probably the last gate before the wall began to descend significantly into the Tyropanian Valley, sometimes referred to as the Central Valley of Jerusalem. After the Ephraim gate, we come to the Tower of Ovens. The Tower of Ovens was probably a defensive tower. It is possible that the tower itself had ovens at or near its base. But since there would be no point in naming a tower after simple household ovens, it seems nearly certain that the ovens in this area must have been commercial or communal ovens. With all the walls in this section being repaired, we continue further on down to the walls being repaired up to and including the Valley Gate. The Valley Gate is located along the middle of the Tyropanian Valley. This is the location from which Nehemiah began his earlier night inspection of the city and the gate by which he returned from in chapter 2, and the gate itself provided access to the Central Valley on the west side of Jerusalem. From the Valley Gate, we continue further south with the repair of the walls all the way up to and including the Refuse Gate or the Dung Gate. The distance between these 2 gates is said to be about 1,000 cubits, so the distance is about 470 meters or 1,500 feet. The exact contour of the city wall between the Valley Gate and the Dung Gate is not certain. The northern portion of this wall apparently followed a steep rock bank that can be traced over much of this length. It is also clear that the pool of Shelah, the pool of Siloam in the New Testament, was enclosed with this wall, although there seems to have also been an inner wall that protected the city at this vulnerable place. The Dung Gate was the gate by which the inhabitants of Jerusalem would take their trash down to the rubbish heap in the Hinnom Valley. The Dung Gate would represent the southerly-most point of the city of Jerusalem in Nehemiah's day, for from here on out, the wall is going to turn east and north to reconnect the wall at the north of the city near the temple. Passing the Dung Gate now and turning north, we come to the Fountain Gate. The Fountain Gate is located at the southern end of the city of David and gave access to the Kidron Valley, from which water was accessible either from the pool of Siloam or from the more distant spring of En-Rogel outside Jerusalem. If you look at the diagram of the bottom of Jerusalem closely, you would actually find an inner wall that protected the city and enclosed the pool of Siloam. The reason this inner wall would be needed is because this part of the city could be vulnerable for attack. The king's garden would also be found in the section between the inner and outer walls, and due to the steep lay of the land here, would require stairs from the valley to get up into the city at the Fountain Gate point. As for where the tombs of David are, that is still debated, though the Jews of that day knew. Though based on its placement here in Nehemiah 3, it is likely near the southeast corner of the city, around where our diagram on the screen now places it. We'll continue on with the construction of the Wall of Jerusalem, the Lord willing, in the next lesson. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Nehemiah chapter 3, verses 17 to 32, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. We thank you for watching Walking Through the Bible today. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. But if you like this video, we ask that you consider subscribing to our channel so you won't miss out on other videos in our series, as well as share this video among your friends so that the saving message of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.